Hi, everyone. We are now into the third week of the semester, and so far, your assignments for this class have just been the chapter quizzes that you've taken over the reading material. Next week, on Thursday the 17th, your first major speaking assignment is due, and that assignment is the cultural speech. So what I want to do in this video is just go over the guidelines, make sure you understand what it is you need to be doing for the speech and what all is involved with it. So I'm already here on the presentations page in Blackboard, and the top speech there, the cultural speech, has a couple of handouts that go along with it. There's the cultural speech guidelines handout, and then a handout for the outline template. So you're going to want to take a look at both of those. And I'll go over them here. I've already opened each of those handouts. So the cultural speech guidelines, it's just that. It's the guidelines of what the requirements are and how you, what you should talk about, what the topic should be like. So just a little guidance here at the top. I want this speech to be an aspect of a culture, as I said, either that you are familiar with or one that you may not be that familiar with. I don't want it to be just a talk about your vacation. I want you to actually talk about the culture itself, and that can still be anything. It can be about food or music or just the general customs, anything about that culture that you'd like to share with us will be fine. So first question you probably have about these presentations is how long do they have to be? And the answer to that is every presentation has a different time requirement. This particular speech, the cultural speech, the time requirement right here is 6 to 8 minutes, 6 to 8 minutes in length. I do give you a grace period at the end of 1 minute. So if a speech is 8 minutes long, you have a grace period of 1 minute, which means the absolute maximum you can speak is 9 minutes. If you go over that grace period allotment, then you lose a letter grade on your speech. So there are consequences for going over the time limit. Similarly, going under the time limit, you must speak a minimum of 6 minutes for this assignment, or you're going to lose a letter grade on that. Time limits are important for a variety of reasons. One is just that in any speaking situation, whether it's in a class or on a job, at some point when you're asked to give a presentation, you're going to be given a time limit. And it's important to stick to that time limit. How do you feel if somebody goes over their allotted time? If you're listening to a speaker or you're in class and the instructor starts going over time in class when class is supposed to end, how do you feel? Probably pretty frustrated, and you just want them to be done. You start getting antsy, and you stop listening and paying attention. So it's important to stick to time limits because you don't want that to happen to your audience. Another reason time limits are important is it shows just your general preparation or lack thereof. So if you have an 8-minute time limit, but you speak for 11 minutes, that shows me and the audience that you haven't rehearsed enough so that you've timed yourself and you know what the time limit is. So what do you do if you start practicing and going over your speech and you realize your speech is 11 minutes long? Do you start talking faster in order to fit everything into the 8 minutes? Or do you find material that you can cut out? Well, the answer is B. You're going to have to cut out some material. So just because you have a whole lot of material doesn't mean necessarily you can talk about it all. Find the important points, fit that into your 6 to 8 minute speech, and lock it in there. If it's too long, you're just going to have to start cutting and editing down. And I promise you're going to find that you're going to have more material than you think. It's not a case usually of going under time. Usually it's a case of having too much material that you have to cut down. All right, so that's time limits. Again, just down here, just scrolling down on the handout, and you can take a look at it yourself. I've got more information about the topic. Several of the speeches, including this one, will require some outside research. So this is just like writing a research paper for your English comp class. You're going to have to do some research online. You can use uh, library links on the ACC library site. There are librarians online that can help you find material if you need help doing that. You need to find 3 outside sources, 3 different sources to use, and incorporate those, cite them in the speech itself, again, just like you would do if you're writing a paper. If you have a quote or even a paraphrase, you need to cite that source and tell where you got that information. So 3 citations are required for the speech. There's an outline required. And after I finish going over this handout, I'll show you the outline template so that you have an idea of what I'm looking for in an outline. Then I've got a lot of information here about delivery. Since this is a public speaking class, the delivery is important. Now, I'm fully aware that within the confines of an online environment, things are different than if we were actually in a classroom. So a lot of the description I have on this handout has to do with presenting your speech as if you're presenting it in front of a class, because this is the same handout that I use in the classroom. In this online format, yeah, we're going to make some modifications here. You can make some modifications. I am going to say, though, that I would like you for this first speech to try to make it as much like you're speaking in a classroom as you can. In other words, I'd like you to stand and record yourself as much full body as possible. I know right now, for example, on this video, you just see me from, basically the neck up. But for this speech, I would like you to record yourself standing full on, if possible. You're going to have some visuals for this speech as well. So another component of the speech is visual aids. PowerPoint, Prezi, any kind of multimedia visual aid is fine. Videos work well, especially online here. The way a lot of people approach this is to hook up their laptop or their device to their TV monitor using an HDMI cable, or maybe just have their laptop facing the camera. Just there are various ways you can work it out. I completely understand that some of you may have full video editing capabilities at home, and others of you, maybe all you have is your phone, and that's the only thing you have to record with. That's absolutely fine and understandable here. So we're going to make do with what we have. If you have the equipment to edit your video and edit visuals in and out and splice them in, go for it. If it's just you talking, set your camera up and talk to your camera, that will be fine too. But I still want you to present this in a professional manner. For some guidelines here, just for some examples on presenting your speech, go to YouTube, type in sample informative speeches or something similar. Just do a YouTube search and hundreds of videos will pop up that you can see. Take a look at things that students have done. Some of them are really, really good. Some of them not so great, but that's okay too. Watch them and see, okay, what this person did is really good. Maybe I could try that. What this person did, that didn't seem to work so well. I don't want to do that. So take some time to go onto YouTube and just see what other people have done for some ideas about how to present this. As we go through the semester, you do have several speeches to give here, and I will allow you to experiment with some different formats. Like I'm doing a Loom presentation right now. So later on, for some other speeches, if you want to give a Loom presentation, I'll allow you to do that. But again, for this one, just starting out, I would like you to make it as much like you're standing in front of a class as possible, if you can do that. All right. Outlining, I've already talked about. Rehearsing. All right, obviously, you will need to practice this speech. Rehearse it before you record it. Say it out loud. Do a dress rehearsal. Do a dry run. Then record yourself. See how that goes. Okay. One thing I found interesting on the introductory videos that you all submitted, several of you said things like, Oh, I'm really nervous. This is my 19th take. I've been up all night trying to get this done. I hope it looks okay. All right, don't do that. Okay, if first of all, your 19th take is not going to be any better than your fourth take. In fact, it's likely to be worse because you're getting mental fatigue by the time you do that. All right. Yes, I can understand doing a few takes just to make sure there's one that you like, but I am not expecting perfection. I do not expect perfection when I teach this class in the classroom, and I'm not expecting perfection here online. So, yeah, do a few takes just so that you have some and you can submit one that you're satisfied with, but don't do 19 takes in order to get it perfect because it just won't happen. All right. And believe me, I understand. I totally get why people do that. But you're going to be better off just keeping the takes to a minimum. And then some more information here on delivery. And you should have already read about delivery in chapter 13, I believe it was. So those are just some general guidelines here of the speech. All right, let me jump over to Outline Template, which is another one of your links. This is the template that I want you to use. So I've got just some basic components here. Attention getting. What is it that how do you want to start the speech? Do you want to start it with a quote? Do you want to start it with some kind of fact or a story? How are you going to grab our attention? So you put that into your outline. Background in the introduction. Background is going to be, why are you interested in this topic? And what do you already know about it? What is your personal background and association with this topic? And it may just be, all my life I've been interested in Middle Eastern cultures. You know, it can be as simple as that, but give us some reason why you chose this topic in particular. Why are you talking about this one? And then you want a preview for us. The preview should be, what are your main points? What are you going to talk about specifically in the speech? So we know your topic, but what are you going to talk about within that? How are you going to break it down? Scrolling on down into the body of the speech, that's where the main points come in. So you're going to have a main point 1, main point 2, and a main point 3. Generally, 3 main points is what you want to shoot for a 6 to 8 minute speech. You may have a few more depending on what your topic is, but again, keep that time limit in mind. 6 to 8 minutes. You cannot give us a full world history of something. You're going to have to really narrow it down to just a few basic points, basic topics. Main point and some supporting material. This is where your citations come in, your quotes come in. This is where you'll talk about your visuals. Show us that. And then finally, when you've gone through your main points, you're ready for your conclusion. Summarize. What have you just talked about? Restate your main points for us. And then give us some kind of final statement that really clinches it, that lets us know you're done. This is the end. What's the final thing you want us to take away or remember from your speech? The worst kind of final statement that you can do is just say, well, that's it. All right. We'll talk a little bit more as we get into these speeches about how to do introductions and conclusions. But for right now, just give it a shot. I just want to see what you do. All right, for this first speech. Again, not expecting perfection. Just want to see what you do. And then finally, your works cited. This is just like a bibliography when you're writing a comp paper. All right, so your bibliography, whatever style you choose is fine with me. Just be consistent with it. So that's the outline template. All right, let's go back over to Blackboard. And yes, I understand I'm throwing a lot of information at you, but since this is the first speech, I want to make sure that you've got it down here. By the time you get to the third and fourth speeches, you'll have it down. Okay, it'll be no big deal. You'll know exactly what you're doing. I do want to finish up here just talking about how you submit the assignment itself. So you're recording yourself on your phone or on your whatever device, making a video, just like you did with the intro video. That's why I had you do that intro video, just for practice. So now that you have to do this one for a grade, you'll be, you're at least familiar with the process. So record your video, upload it to streamable.com, just like you did. There's going to be an extra step, though. I've got a link here, Submit Cultural Speech. So let's open that up. Oh, and by the way, the grading rubric here, you can open that link, Submit Cultural Speech, then click on View the Grading Rubric. That'll show you some of the points that I'll be looking at for your evaluation. All right, so are your main points supported with sources? Your organization, does it seem to flow logically? Are you speaking clearly and concisely? So you can take a look at all these different components. The delivery, are you making eye contact even though you're on camera here? Your speaking voice, can I hear you? Your overall presentation. All right, so that's the rubric. If you want to take a look at that. Back to submission here. All right, so just like you did before with Streamable, you upload it to Streamable, click on copy link, or whatever that button says. I don't remember, I don't have it pulled up right now, but you did it before, it's the same thing. Copy that link, go down here into the comments box, paste the link there, and you're good. The extra step here involves the outline. So you'll need to write your outline and save that as a document on your device. Click Browse My Computer, and it will open up the folders to upload your document there, just like you would upload any document. So hopefully that will be straightforward. So link to the video here, attach files box to attach your outline, then you click submit. That sends it all to me, and you are done. All right, all you have to do is wait for me to watch your speech and fill out the rubric for you. All right, again, I know that's a lot of information. If you have any questions as you start getting this together, please let me know. You can email me. I can meet with you online in a video chat. Just topics themselves even. If you have a question about, is this topic good? Can I talk about this? Will this work? Run it by me. I'm happy to give you any feedback on that. All right, well, that's the cultural speech. I'll be waiting for any questions or comments from you, and otherwise I will look forward to watching these speeches. So start thinking about it, start working on it, and remember it is due on Thursday, September 17th, a week from today. All right, well, have a good one, take care, and I will see you later. Ciao.